are nuts, so I do
No,
apologize.
no worries. Yeah, I'm sure you're kind of making the rounds today. And are you traveling right now? Is that right? You're on the
Yes, we're
road?
also in Ohio right now. We're kind of going all over the U.S. the past few days, getting ready for this premiere coming up Friday in Charleston, so of the film. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've been traveling a bit, but yeah, we're here. Where are you calling from?
Well, currently just did some traveling myself. I'm in upstate New York. Typically, I'll be in Brooklyn. But yeah, just visiting my parents for a few days this week. So we're both connecting outside of home.
Super
It's the time
awesome.
to get the last minute travels in at the end of the summer, I guess.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
We're in a cool hotel here too, so we're more than comfortable for this interview.
Very nice. All right.
Us.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to chat with you guys about this. I just had the chance to watch the film last night. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time that you've worked together in this capacity. Obviously, David, this is your feature film directorial debut. Have you worked together in this space before, or was this all new territory for you?
We have a development company. So we've produced together and developed projects for the past 5 6 years together, but
Yeah.
screen and behind screen together. So this was a great new experience for us.
Yeah,
Very.
we've done some behind the scenes stuff, and we're on like with both of us on. Yeah, it was great because I mean, I think I'm sure you've interviewed tons of independent filmmakers. Like just making a film is a miracle. Just getting it done is a miracle. So
Mhm.
and time is the enemy. So the fact that I was able to work with my brother, who we know each other so well, I could give him a look. He'd know exactly what I needed to fix the performance. It was very quick. We had a shorthand that
Mhm.
saved us a lot of time, which allowed us to get a lot of other things we wouldn't have necessarily gotten. So working with someone who you have a shorthand with was a huge strength to the whole project, and I think a big benefit to the overall.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us a bit about the kind of the origin story for this, because again really really enjoyed it. David, I know that you're one of the co-writers on it, and Selena Gomez is attached as producer. So, what were the early seeds of this that kind of brought it to where it is today?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up loving 80s movies, coming of age films, and I'm an inherently optimistic guy. I loved how those movies gave me warm feelings and dealt with deeper themes. So I wanted to do something, a new spin on one of those, classic kind of 80s
Hmm.
films. So there was always this itch to do something in that space, and the more we thought about it, the more themes started to come to our mind, powerful themes, and so we started to really play with this theme of expectation versus reality, and how our generation more than ever is just inundated with social media, news, film, TV, and you expect your life to go a certain way, and that's not always the reality. So I kind of wanted to ground that in a fun story and make it an adventure, make it a feel good movie along the way. I think we can all agree we want to feel good right now, and it's crazy times that we live in. Um,
Hmm.
we set it in an ensemble, and it applies to all the characters differently. That kind of theme of expectation versus reality, and we put them all on the road. So we wanted something that the whole family could sit down and watch. So if you have a tween or teen out there and you're looking for a movie, this is like an ideal one for you. It's not something you're gonna have to shut your eyes at any point. Purposely so, and unabashedly so. It's something that should be fun, heartwarming, and by the end, get a little choked up and leave with a smile on your face. I mean, that was one of the things that Selena really liked, was it had a fun ending, a powerful ending. With any love triangle, it's not about who does he end up with. It's more about the fun and the adventure along the way there. Of course, it's fun if you're guessing along the way, but it's got to be dramatic along the way. So those were kind of the things that we were mulling over in a nutshell along the way. And yeah, check it out on Friday.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. And I'm glad that you mentioned kind of this underlying theme of expectations versus reality. It's seen Lorenzo in your character, both in the sense that he had this certain expectation of what his senior year of high school was going to be like, but also expectations of who other people are. I mean, no spoilers, but given his love interest in the love triangle that he finds himself in, he is kind of projecting certain expectations on the people that he likes without really knowing them. So what about that narrative? What about that complexity of character really intrigued you?
Absolutely. I mean, I think
Yeah, no worries.
Quiet on me, but we're back. We're back.
we're back.
Okay.
We're back.
Yeah,
Expectation.
All right.
I that's a huge theme that you just hit on, that really attracted me about Josh, which is I think a lot of people do that, is especially in the high school years. They they follow a girl on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and once they really don't know that person. And that was a huge part of our character arc with Josh. But discovering who this girl is and sort of wishing the best for her is, true act of kindness, for those characters. So
that was one thing that spoke to Selena too, by the way, while we're talking about Zoe and expectation and whatnot, is a lot of the 80s movies didn't really give the quote unquote pretty girl or quote unquote hot girl, didn't really give her an arc. Like that character was kind of one note and would kind of be used and abused by those around her in the story. And we purposely wanted to give that character like a deep arc and show you can't judge a book by its cover, and there's a lot going on in that girl, and she's got her own set of issues that she's trying to work through, and that we all do. And Selena really loved and appreciated that in the story, and liked that we purposely flipped a lot of the female tropes on their head, especially with Zoe's character and Molly's forming an authentic female friendship and helping one another and not being combative or catty or any of the things that we don't like about some things that didn't age well in older films, to say.
Right. Those older films, and then you see the same trope in like the Manic Pixie Dream Girl through the 2000s. A lot of the behavior and the action for these female characters is hinged on the perspective of the men in their life. Whereas I feel like this, in a really nice way, not a way that's beating you over the head with it, but it does kind of flip the script a little bit. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't even be something you really detect, but by the end, you just kind of feel good. You're like, wow, all these characters started somewhere and ended somewhere else, and we took that seriously as our responsibility as writers to like give everyone their fair shot and hopefully send everyone down a journey. So hopefully it's something that each person can kind of pick a character and be like, I see myself in that, or I can relate to an aspect of that person's life.
Yeah. And you mentioned that this is an ensemble comedy. Some really great characters in this with people like Molly, with Zoe, with the other people that are going on this road trip. What was that casting process like for you guys, and how did you kind of flesh out who's going to be sharing the screen with you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, again, with an indie film, like, it's so hard to make an indie film, and you need actors who can pull it off and pull it off quickly. So growing up child actors gave, I think, us, and me in particular as a director, a real advantage in the casting process, because I just knew who could get it done and get it done quickly, because I've been in their shoes so many times, and I've seen the audition process in depth. So I just had a really good sense of like, this is the kind of person that I need for the role, and this is the kind of person who can get it done quickly. And I went to some friends for certain roles right off the bat, because I was like, they're going to be the best for it. They're going to nail it. Greg Sulkin, who plays Gale, Jeff Garland, who's like, a pseudo mentor to mine. I knew would be the best mentor in a film ever. And then when I met Vanessa Morano and Jake Short, I instantly was taken aback by them, because I knew they were so professional, so on point. Vanessa's been acting since she was a little girl. We both started on Without a Trace. I was like 9 years old when I did an episode of that, and she was on that show forever. Long career on Switched at Birth and many, many, many other shows and movies. So she's so professional that I was like, oh, she gives me gold, and she gives me gold in one take. Like, that's going to save us so big. Because you just don't have the time on indie movies. You just don't.
Yeah.
You don't have the money that can buy you the time. You want to get it. You want to get it quickly, and you want to try to make it look as good as possible. So Jake Short was the same thing. Gave me gold really quickly.
Their auditions were just right when they walked in the room. You're like,
nailed it.
They probably do this in every audition. If they could book so many projects, so they were just pros.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want to do. I'm curious, you mentioned that you've also been producing for a handful of years, so it's not your first time being on the other side of that casting table. What typically stands out for you, whether it be in the room, whether it be on a self-tape? What are the kind of traits that, for the backstage audience today, all the working actors of the world, what are the things that kind of checks your boxes?
Okay, in your tapes, make your tapes as professional as you can and make them different. Like the cell phone tapes, everyone has figured it out now. All actors have figured it out. Everyone's got a decent camera. Everyone's got good lighting. And I tell you, it helps. Like when I'm sitting there thumbing through a bunch of tapes as when we're casting, the better ones just look better. I mean, I don't care how long you've been in the business. Subconsciously, if something looks better, you're going to like it more. Yeah. So get a decent camera. I'm not saying go out and spend thousands of dollars on a camera, but get a decent camera. Try to light yourself well, and it's worth the investment. You know, if you spend a couple $100 like setting yourself up, it'll be the best investment ever. You can always keep it in your room. You can knock out tons of self tapes on it. Don't ever move it. Have it hooked up to your computer. You can nail it. And don't be afraid to be different.
Yeah, be personal.
Like be fun and be funny. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen the Daiquiri Montgomery. That's how you say his name, right?
Yeah,
Daiquiri Montgomery Instagram. Daiquiri Montgomery Stranger Things audition tape.
Self tape. Yeah.
I mean, that's point in case. That was super funny, and I do that stuff for my own auditions, and you know what? It stands out.
I've done the same. I think in the slating process, when you're saying, you know, hi, I think in the slating process, that's a big opportunity for actors to stand out and say, you know, you love the script, or like, I'm a huge fan of so and so. I've booked a role on it, so I think
don't be shy. Yeah,
don't be shy. Make it
make it fun.
They're seeing so many tapes per day, like. I'm sure they want to laugh. They want a little bit of a break during.
And the tape is yours. Do whatever you want with it. Like
right. And of course, you guys are speaking from a well of experience, having been acting for more years than you haven't been at this point. I'm curious. Oh, are you frozen there? We got it.
We're back.
All right.
Keep speaking.
I was just saying, both. Yeah, can you hear me? Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Just a final question for you guys. I was just saying that you guys have been acting for so long cumulatively. You have some wisdom to share for the backstage audience out there. What is that one thing that you would tell your younger self when you were getting your start, or anyone else getting their start today?
I would tell myself, stop. You're not that important. Stop caring so much. There's so much more that goes into getting the role than just your performance. You know what, David? Not that important. Just go in there and do your best, and the rest is up to them. You know, I would put so much stress on myself to nail it, to be perfect, to like give the best performance ever, and it would exhaust me. And I wish I could go back in time and just say, there is so much more than a good performance. Like, I have 10 options of actors that pulled it off that I could pick from. I'm like, there's 10 actors here that all could do it. I could hire all of these guys. Who's the right look? Who's the right feel? Who gels the most? Who's got the right this or that? There's so many other things that are out of your control, that just act it, and the rest is up to God. Honestly, like, let go of it, because you're killing yourself, and you don't need to be doing that, because there's so much more aside from your performance that's out of your control. So just go in there and do your best. That's it.
And what that does is it lets you to have fun with the auditions. Like, every audition becomes fun instead of that serious pressure and stress. I literally, when I booked Fear the Walking Dead on AMC, I went in there I did not think I was going to book the role. I was not, that's
how it always works.
I was very prepared, but it's just such a huge, massive franchise. And when I went in there, I had so much fun. Casting director was amazing. They brought me in again. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting this. And, but that pressure, taking that pressure off of you, I was super prepared. But the pressure was taken off of me, and it really made me free. It makes you free as an actor. So
it sounds so basic, like just let go and don't care. Like, it sounds so basic, but it's so true. And the thing that gave me a new understanding of it was when we got behind the camera and started casting. I was like, wow, there's a lot of good actors out there, but my decision was not solely based on their acting ability, and that's how every director looks at it. There's so much more. I'd say it's half. It might even be less than half. Like, there's so much you have to do with each actor to pair them within the overall scope and feel of the film that doesn't have to do with acting. So, let it go and just do your thing. And if you get it, it's meant to be. Like, you just got to have faith that the roles that are meant to be, and the ones that aren't. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I had when I almost got the Hunger Games franchise, and the director was like, "Yeah, you're the actor's choice, but you just don't have the right look." And I'm not 6'5" like Liam Hemsworth, but that's what matters is it's 50-50 truly. It's like your ability, and then on the other hand, a million other factors. So don't even stop putting the stress on yourself.
Yeah. Well, definitely some nice words of wisdom to part with today. David Lorenzo, really, really big fan of this film, and thanks for sharing your time with us. I'm excited to see what you do next. and we'll be in touch.
Thank you, everyone, and I look forward to everyone's feedback out there as actors. It comes out Friday, iTunes, Amazon, where movies are sold. It comes out 4th of September. So please, on my social media accounts, let me know your feedback. Would love to hear what you think, and hope you feel good while watching it. So cheers, and thank you guys. It really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. Stay well, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.